Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Today we will discuss the Module 1, the perspective on teaching art, science, form of service, ongoing process, occupational or livelihood, and vocation. First, I will discuss the teaching as an art. So, teaching is an art. It is an art that teachers must bring themselves fully into their teaching. As a teacher, you will need to find methods and strategies that works best for you. Teachers are not standardized product. What works for one teacher may not work for another. Thus, all the teaching strategies that you learn should be adapted to fit your particular teaching situations and your personal teaching philosophy, and discover your own unique talents and learn how to use them. So, for me, 'di ba, as a teacher, you must be creative in teaching, especially in strategy and method of teaching, so that the students will highly encourage to listen and pay attention while teaching. And also, you must be creative while delivering you are delivering an information, and you must be enthusiasm so that this class will not be boring. Um, Teaching as an art demonstrates ways in which the teacher may use creative ways to present the material, so it is fun and interesting for his or her students. Some examples are games, hands-on, and activities and or movies that relating to the topics being covered. So next, teaching as a science. It is a science that there are strategies and practices that a body of research has shown to be effective in enhancing learning. Just like doctors, teachers should use research to inform their practice. On the individual level, teaching is a science also in the teachers are constantly collecting data by observing their students in order to see if learning is taking a place and how they learn best. And like scientists, teachers experiment with new techniques or strategies to see how they work. So teaching is a science that demonstrates ways in which the teacher may employ a more logical approach to deliver the material to the students. It is a sort of traditional way of teaching in which teachers teach their class. Um, an example of this could be a teacher lecturing their class on the topic being discussed. So this type of teaching tends to be monotonous and boring, and the teacher faces a harder time keeping the students' attention. However, any type of teaching needs a scientific background or base. So, for effective teaching, a teacher must integrate both art and science while teaching in the classroom. So, the teacher who doesn't apply scientific knowledge to teach the students runs the risk of using the methods and principles of ineffective teaching. If a teacher is able to balance both art and science, it will make it easier to the students to learn and assimilate the information while keeping their attention. Yes, for effective teaching, a teacher must integrate both art and science while teaching in the classroom. It is because um, both art and science, they both play a role in each other, because if a teacher only demonstrates one of these types of teaching, their classroom will be or will most likely be very boring. Thus, a teacher cannot be called efficient unless he or she is able to incorporate both art and science teaching. To be an effective teacher, one must not only stay abreast of the latest research and findings in the field of education, but they must also continually practice the art of applying this information.
So I am the second reporter, so I will be discuss the forms of social service. So, there are many forms in terms of social service. But today, we are talking about the forms of social service in teaching. Teaching is the most crucial things because as a future educator, we have to be the role model to our student, to our pupils. In order us to be a good role model to all our students, we have to fulfill our duty to make them a better person. So let us proceed to our next topic, which is ongoing process. We are all familiar that learning is a continuous learning process of life. Talking, talking about this topic also talks about what we had learned from school. But for me, hindi lang tayo sa school natututo. But there are many variants. Like for example, we had learned through attitude in nature. From the environment, we can also gain knowledge. Nakadepende na rin sa mga taong nakakasalamuha natin or nakakasama natin everyday in our life. Hindi lang sa kung ano ang mga tinuturo sa atin ng mga guro natin, kukuha ang mga learnings. Dahil sa bawat failure natin or galaw natin, we learn from it. Hindi dahil nakapagtapos ka or degree holder ka na, ay marami ka nang natutunan at hinto mo yung learnings na natutunan mo.
We should bear in our mind that learning is unstoppable. Learning doesn't stop. As the world continues to discover innovation and new information, we learn new things and knowledge through our environmental, social, economic, spiritual, and physical experience.
To sum of this, ongoing process teaching in our life, as long as nabubuhay tayo sa mundo, we never stop learning. Every day in our life, makakakuha tayo ng learnings, hindi lang sa school, hindi lang dahil degree holder ka, is marami ka nang natutunan. Dahil natututo rin din tayo sa iba't ibang bagay, hindi lang sa academic or anything. Dahil bawat desisyon natin, nagkakaroon tayo ng learnings, nakakakuha tayo ng aral doon. Kasi kung isa-isahin lang natin yung learnings, there are many variants. Let us proceed to the next reporter.
Good day everyone and Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So next is there are many ways that you can learn on a continuous basis. So we have here on-job experience, formal training, reading literature, mentoring people, sharing knowledge, and leadership qualities. On-job experience. The best thing you learn is your own job experience. Tama. This is the most effective way of learning and the knowledge will be carried with you for a very long term. Yes, experience is a key ingredient to success on the job. Experience is the key element to being successful at a job or earning a desired job. Marami tayong matututunan kung gustuhin natin. Sa ating mga karanasan ay may mga mapupulot na aral sa buhay. In our mistakes, learn to correct them again dahil yun ang dapat. And every time we learn something, siguraduhin natin na magagamit natin to para sa ating sarili at para na rin sa ibang tao, especially sa work or job. What you learn in experience can often determine your success or failure in life. So pag nagsikap ka mag-aral, combined with the real on the job, ay talagang aahon ka. Magtatagumpay ka. Your choices and your experience help create the person that you are. After all, experience is the best teacher ever. We learn logically by experiences. Next is formal training. Formal training is one of the best ways to learn the things at much faster rate. Example of formal training include classroom instructions, web-based training, seminar, webinar, e-learning, and etc. Yung true online. If you are learning the skills from the experts, ang gagawin mo lang isusundin mo yung mga instruction doon in a very easy way. Next is reading literature. If you are not yet a reading freak, then you must immediately switch your moods to a great reader. Sabi nga nila, the more you read, the more things you will know. For this, nadidevelop natin ang ating sarili to read and write para ma-learn natin ang hindi pa natin nalalaman and improvise ourselves with passing time. The more you read, the more you will know and have assurance to yourself. Next is mentoring people. You should always consider that the mentoring is a great opportunity. You should not hold back yourself to mentor people around you. It would be guiding, monitoring, directing, advising, or motivating people around you. Dito naman, susuportahan mo or i-encourage mo yung tao para ma-handle niya ang kanyang learning in order that he or she maximize their potential, develop their skills, improve their performance, and become the person they want to be. Ito yung magbibigay sa atin ng confidence that you can be a good instructor. Kapag ang mga tao ay naniniwala sa kakayahan mo, then it gives you an additional boost your inner abilities. Next is sharing knowledge. The more you share your knowledge, it would come back to you with double knowledge. Yes, I agree. When you share your knowledge with others, it helps deepen your own knowledge and ingrains what you know. Kung may mga kaibigan ka, kapatid, or um, relatives, ganyan, etc. na kailangan malaman. And then, may mga idea ka doon. Ipapaliwanag mo yun sa kanila. Explains them with a possible way and it would definitely give you a benefit. Next is leadership qualities. Every individual is a leader in his or her own abilities. Therefore, learning the leadership qualities is always a continuous process. Yes, tama. Ang pagiging leadership kasi ay nagbibigay ito ng confidence sa ating sarili. Strengthening your communication and skills natin. Ano pa ba? At magdi-develop ng character. The values you learn as a leader is nai-improve mo yung personality mo sa buhay and relationships. Dapat meron kang sapat na tiwala sa mga nalalaman mo and set you on the fast track to success in your career and business life. Yun lamang po.
Good day, I am Maharati Udsa, the last reporter, and I am also the one who will discuss about occupation, livelihood, and teaching as a vocation. Teaching math and primary grades is PAC 3. Module 1, Perspective on Teaching Art, Science, Form of Service, Ongoing Process, Occupational, Livelihood, and Vocation. So the first one here is Occupation, Livelihood. Teaching as a specific act is a closest to an occupation for which a person will be paid to perform certain duties. Education is sometimes a business, especially when seen in light of the recent growth of the for-profit university sector. So sinasabi dito that teaching is an occupation which is the foundation of all profession. Ang pagtuturo is to share your knowledge to all certain things and it will help to perform duties. Also, occupation and livelihood don't matter about what we are in or what we have. It's about the job or career or even our hobbies, just like teaching. For this situation, especially that there's a pandemic aside of doctors and nurses, teachers or teaching is the most common and important occupation for now. It's not about the person's look or person's appearance, but it's about the attitude to handle and serve their students and the other people well. Second here is about teaching as a vocation. A teacher who practices teaching as his vocation responds to the strong feeling or calling for service, just like the historic biblical figures, with utmost dedication. In summary, a vocation is only for some who are really dedicated not just to work but also to serve other people. So, teaching as a vocation should teach the students about the value of learning and studying. As a teacher, you should be more professional when it comes about the studies because that's your responsibility to teach those students. That's one of your to teach those students. That's one of your responsibility to make them better and to build their passion. Teacher is one of those professionals who build our passion and the successful future of us as a students. So para mas maintindihan ng teaching as a vocation, so ang so as a teacher, dapat may matindi kang dedikasyon para magturo at turuan ang mga bata. Hindi lamang dahil ito ay iyong profession, kundi dahil gusto mong makatulong sa ibang tao at mahal mo ang iyong trabaho o ang iyong ginagawa. It's your duty to serve and to be a responsible teacher all day. At dahil willing ka din gawin ito because you are already engaged and you are already engaged and love your work, teaching as a vocation is you are dedicated for what are you doing or what have you are doing. You are already love for your career and you are happy educating other people. So here is the example. Teacher Mark is treated as a teacher for teaching his students the lessons every day. He teaches everything he knows, showing off his mastery of the subject, but not even considering the feelings of his students towards difficult topics. On the other hand, Joy is addressed as a teacher for teaching and serving the children for a far rural community. She travels almost 20 kilometers every day for the sake of her students' learning and development. So, base sa example na pinasa ko, parehas nilang minamahal ang kanilang trabaho at parehas din nilang minamahal ang kanilang mga estudyante. That's all. Thank you.